I'm not gonna lie, boys. This shit is unreal, I swear to you.
It is unreal indeed, man.
Yo, this is really nice. I love it a lot. I really enjoy it, you know. Of course, we won and I enjoy it more.
Yep.
Of course, that's the reason. But like,
you just
Hell yeah.
I need to look at the camera,
Hell
right?
yeah, bro.
me, you can look at the camera, you can look at the you can look wherever you want.
I'm like more closer to Xnet than anyone in the team, but I like him a lot. Sometimes he's pissing me off though, because no, I love him with heart. He's my fucking brother. But like, even in scrims, I be popping 2-piece and he's like, "Let's go MC." Oh, MC.
You win.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What we are going to do today is a hybrid session of big picture, small picture. So what we're doing is we're going to focus on ALLUKA, the rookie who has played his first event in the CDL, and it happened to be the biggest event of the year on this Falcons team. This Falcons team did really, really well this weekend. They ended up placing top 3. We're going to focus on ALLUKA, but we're also going to focus on both teams, and we're going to do a mix of my traditional locker room where we focus on both teams from a strategy perspective, but also we're going to focus on ALLUKA on how he plays from an individual perspective. ALLUKA is going to be number 7. So we can focus on him. Oh, I like this break. And the reason why I like this break is he's sliding wide. He's going to try and drag any sort of chow or aim assist onto him. And Kiz is going to chow over. And then I would imagine Cell's got the left. And then Xnid can activate on either side. Okay, Clay. I see you. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Mr. Clayster. I like that. That's nice. I really like breaks where they utilize their teamworks, and I need you guys to really understand the difference between the Falcons that I'm seeing here and the Falcons that I've seen the entire year. This one Breakoff tendency, I can probably assure you, watching every single Breakoff throughout the entire year, they probably don't have Breakoffs where they're using teamwork like this. Since I've noticed ALLUKA joining Falcons, you see it predominantly in the S&D. The teamwork that they have, the team shooting, the dragging of aim assist, the challenging things at the same time has increased. It's been a lot better. And that's why you're seeing Falcons get a lot of success, especially with the team play. So this was really, really good from ALLUKA and Falcons overall. Now they get the first kill. I'm curious to see what they'll do after they get the first kill. Are they going to try and get Xnid pushed out, taking a time in? Once they get Sib weak, are they going to expect him to push out to try and take Charles? They know one guy's up top. We're looking for one. We don't know where Estriel is. But maybe if they've done their homework and they've done their preparation, maybe they'll turn around and pick up Xnid on the pinch. Maybe they think Xnid is potentially doing something like this. We'll see how they react. I think Falcons are also really good at keeping the game in front of them. So they understand that, okay, if they get the first wave, they're not going to try and make the game really messy by forcing them to spawn on both sides of the map. What they'll end up doing is keep the game in front of them and then just play the wave and then soak the time because it's hard point, not spawn point. So right here, let's see what they end up doing. He gets naded out. We're using our nades. Kiz is refilling on time. We're still looking for number 4. The second Xnid spawns here, he needs to scream, yo, somebody's on the pinch. Now, I'm curious if ALLUKA will turn around for this. Nope, Estriel kills him. That's a really, really, really good pinch by him. 6 is going to turn around to try and play, but 6 is not in a really good position to be doing anything from here. He might still get the kill, not sure. 7's going to push out. We've just naded Sib. We know we're looking for 1 on their side. Obviously, 3 has just come off spawn because he's died. 8 is now re-pinching. Last guy's going to spawn up based on 4's position and refill wherever is necessary. He might even go back up top to try and play Estriel. So ALLUKA, in this situation, they make a decision. They're getting collapsed on both sides. When you're getting collapsed on both sides, you kind of have to just force a side, push a side, and do something about that. So you can't let Estriel just stay here. So 7's taking Charles. 6 is trying to kill him, gets Estriel weak. 8 is trying to watch over. ALLUKA gets killed by Joe Deceives, who's here. Xnid is then taking a fight on Joe. This is very kind of like singular at the moment. Estral makes a really, really good hard point winning play here by playing top to drag people's insist away. We're now going into the second wave. Your second wave is either your win condition is to soak or to break. Right here, if you're Falcons, they realize that they're going to have to break. So general rule of thumb, your first guy has to be the one to be taking a long route. This is what we call a linear situation. The reason why it's a linear situation is these are situations that you will get into every single hardpoint. And when you get into repeatable, pattern recognized situations on hardpoint, you can apply what we call the same fix or the same solution. You can make the same decisions. So right here, now that they've flipped out, they've got the side that they want to P2, they still have to hit it. I'm curious to know what Falcons' game plan is going to be in order to break this P1. Guys, if you put 10,000 hours in Call of Duty, you will come across a lot of the same repeatable situations that you can consistently drill over and over and over again. This will happen quite often when you play Den P1. You will get a moment where you have to wait for each other to break a P1, and the way that you do that in the set order in which you do that can be rehearsed and it can be drilled. I'm curious to know what their game plans are. I think if you're Paris, you expect Paris to get into a certain setup and then they'll play from the side, play for kills, then push out. I think with Falcons, let's see how they end up breaking this. 5 gone top broken, 7 first guy in flow going round, 8's going to refill couches. Okay, so 8's Cells decided to play top broken. ALLUKA's the first guy in flow taking a long route. So he's going to wait for, I imagine he's going to either look for a scam kill or wait for his teammates to get into a good position to fight or tradable positions to fight. 6 with 27 seconds left, I imagine would refill couches to try and fight. He spawns here for a reason. So interested to see what ALLUKA ends up doing here, and then Falcons as a whole. Your micro is determined by your macro. Wherever your job is in the moment is going to be determine how you do it. Your weapon that you has is going to determine how you do it. I think right here he should have an AR out. I think maybe we'll see, and we'll see how he ends up playing it. So he's going to wait for number 8 to do something. Number 6 is going to refill couches, I imagine. 5 is going to come off spawn and refill where necessary. So right here has an AR out, like I just said. Got a scam kill on the guy statue. So now we're in a situation where we're in a 3 versus 3. Basically, it's kind of a 3 versus 2 right now. So what I can imagine is him playing aggressive into the play. Maybe has his pistol out. Xnid is going to give comms. Cell is going to give comms. And then obviously, sorry, not Cell. Kiz is going to give comms about A-pin or whether not. And then Cell is going to spawn up and refill whatever is necessary. 24 seconds left. They can continue to hit this P1 time, and then obviously based on where ALLUKA is positioned is going to determine where Paris is spawning, and then they can do something from that. Wave by wave mentality right here. Right, let's see what he ends up doing. He ends up aping out. Kismet with a fantastic Ginobili. I don't know, I mean, he just lobbed it through. Good nade. Now we have numbers. Now we're in a 4 versus 2, technically a 3 versus 2. So right here, what you have to do, even though there's 20 seconds left, guys, they know the last 2 people are in P1. This is just COD, is just a game of numbers, you guys. Take your weapon, try and repeat and take the same fights. That give you an increase in your percentage of winning it. He has an AR. Numbers, QRP towards time. Your team shooting. You're trying to steal each other's kills. So right here, I would expect these guys to at least try and be quick in collapsing here. The more progression and map pressure you have towards the objective, the deeper Paris are going to spawn. So that's going to give you 2 or 3 additional seconds in order to secure the rotation to P2. Then you can get a sense of your timings, player tracking, wave by wave, all that sort of stuff. So we'll see what he ends up doing. If he has progression, he will help. If once they start making kills, then I imagine he'd shift round to cut P2. ALLUKA somehow, some way, he gets 1, somehow gets the 2nd, puts his weapon in the position of power. Now, I think he wins that because Estral probably has an SMG, so he's taken a gunfight in a natural position suited for the weapon he has. Now they have numbers. Now they're looking for 1. All you have to do if X happens, I'm going to do Y. What is X? X is numbers, 3 down. What is Y? Ape. How you ape and how you get the kills will be determined by the weapon you have. Kiz is just gonna blitz out. ALLUKA can play in a certain position, get them spawning in a certain location, and then 5 is probably going to refill based on where the team is calling out where they're spawning, then refill wherever the pressure is going to be coming from. So we're now on 18 seconds. Last wave, it's all about reading the pressure and trying to get new control, and you're playing high percentage positions to get info or kills in order to do so. So let's see what they end up doing here. Good job. And 5 should eventually, someone should. Yep, 7 is going to do it. 8 has information of how many people are crossing. Kiz does a fantastic job of bumping out. Because he's bumped out, he can still spawn them as deep as possible. And he gets information early. And now they have a natural crossfire, 6 and 5, on a funnel. So guys, this is important from Falcons' perspective, is they've got them funneled. 6 is going to crossfire, 5 is going to crossfire. Based on, obviously, Xnid is going to spawn in. He's the last guy in flow. So he's going to refill wherever the pressure is coming from. He's going to block where necessary once P2 pops, you know, if they get kills in time. And they spawn up in time. So look, they have a crossfire going on. And what that means is Joe deceives. It causes hesitation in Joe deceives because he has 2 things to worry about. And in this moment, he kind of has to just commit to one gunfight. And both gunfights aren't necessarily the best for him right now. Ends up getting caught with Kiz. So Cell shoots him in the side. And this is a form of teamwork that really elevated Falcons throughout the weekend. Is stuff like this. In tradable positions, and their pacing is tight. When you have players who are on the same pace and they're in tradable positions, you can cause natural crossfires and natural team shots without thinking about it. The whole idea of game plans and keeping it as simple as you can is you get in situations like this, fluid situations, where you don't have time to think about using each other. You kind of just have to do it. And so by trusting the flow, by putting yourself in positions to bump out and being in tradable positions and predicting the trade, you can put yourself in situations to do that. You watch the CDL and you see yourself up there, your name in the lights, playing next to the guys that you've idolized for years. And that's not a stupid dream. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But it is not going to happen the way that you're currently going about it. You're not standing still, you're getting worse. And your brain doesn't know a good habit from a bad one. It just learns what you repeat. And 3 hours tonight with the same mistakes is going to keep you stuck. There's a reason why you were stuck last year, you're stuck last season, you're stuck this season, and you see people come up as rookies out of nowhere. You've got a scuff, you've got a monitor, you've put 3,000 on a PC, and you still don't know what to do. And the reason nobody can fix it is because almost nobody can. The pros that you watch run on instinct that they can't explain, and you ask them why they make a certain play and they just say, hey, I just knew it. Your content creator coaches have one good season and they can't tell you why. I've spent 15 years doing this. I've spent over 10 years turning that instinct into a system that nobody else can actually learn. I'm a cancer researcher by training. I am a qualified boxing coach. So I diagnose your game the way I have diagnosed everything in the lab and in the ring. Root cause, name it, fix it. Being elite at a game and being able to teach others to install it are 2 different skills. I am one of the few people in Call of Duty who can do so. Every drill, every theory, everything in the 8 hours was built with these pros. When you run them, you are walking the exact same path that these players have done. Hydra, Sib, Skies, you name it. Everything you know, everything nobody has ever shown you or nobody talks about gets installed directly and drilled until it's muscle memory. You are not figuring anything out. I will direct you. You just got to show up and do the work. 40 players have done this. 1 player went from platinum to top 250. 10 players have gone from gold to iridescent in 8 hours. I've taken someone from silver to crimson in 8. Okay, you're not going to go pro in 8 hours, but I am saving you years of figuring this out on your own. And I wish I had this when I competed. October is going to be the next time I do this. 6 spots. You apply, we get on a call, and I decide if I can get you to where you want to go. Bring your squad. It becomes so much more cheaper. or you just don't, and you can just keep wasting hours and hours and regret it in a couple years time that, hey, you didn't have a good chance of doing it, because you learned it once, you don't learn it again. You stop hoping you're going to improve and you start knowing you will, because I make the path as clear as possible from where you are to where you want to go. I've got 2 lessons on this website that you can do, and it's free. Watch them first and you can decide what you want to do. There's also a VIP option for you guys who want me on a 3-month retainer. Hit your personal best in 30 days or I will coach you for free until you do. I have never once done this guarantee. People have improved in the first 2 or 3 hours instantly. You don't know what you don't know. So let's see what happens here. 7, like I just said, is going back to block the spawns. We now know where the last 2 players are. 5 is in a position to try and trade number 2 or play for number 3. We then have a good idea where Estriel and Ghosty are going to potentially be spawning. And then we can read the pressure from there. So like I said, with my mouse, he's going to spawn here. Cell taking a gunfight with his AR in a high percentage position. Now all we have to do is read the pressure. So I expect number 7 to get across. I expect number 5 to keep playing for mid. Once number 8 is in a position to say, yo, I'm getting challenged, I'm getting stunned, I'm getting naded, he can either bump out if he has the timing. He can say, yo, I'm bumping out, I have the timing, and 7 refills. Or these guys will shift across to help each other for the first wave in order to take fights together. This is the first wave of P2, and when you know where people are spawning, you limit the routes that they could take. When you limit the routes that the enemies can take, you can then predict what you think they're going to be doing. And right here, when you predict where you think people are going to be and where the pressure is coming from, it gets you in, or puts you in an advantage, because you can position yourself to just focus in the front of your screen in a good position, time your stuns, time your utility before you take the fights. So really good job here. Like I said, with 5, he's going all the way back. 7 is then refilling where the pressure is coming from. And I swear, I haven't watched this before, and they've just done exactly what I've said. Is 8 has decided to bump out. 7 is refilling. And remember, guys, with our flow, imagine we have chains on each other. The first chain has decided to move up because in his head he feels like he can get space, and he's playing an SMG position or taking a natural SMG route in order to get first bullet advantage. He's ironing to try and get the pressure, reading the pressure and kills. 7 is going to watch whatever lane Xnid leaves open. 5 may refill when necessary, and 6 is going to pick up whatever lane is open. As COD is a game of numbers, and just keep it simple. Once you know how many people are in a certain lane, then you can shift across. Kiz, in hindsight, we can see all 4 players here. But when you are Falcons, you don't know where all 4 players are going to be. So you can't just have Kismet just doing this without getting that information. You can predict, and your predictions, by the nature of predictions, can be right, can be wrong. So you have to confirm it with the information you are getting. A mistake that teams make is they will overshift and early rotate before they've had the numbers and the information based on their predictions. So right here, Kiz will continue to hold whatever he needs to in case number 2 has for whatever reason done this, and it happens. And then once they get information and kills start going down, he will shift across to try and trade. Good job here with Xnid, gets 1. ALLUKA picks up another. Now, we know 1 person's here, and number 5 is going to play outer. We'll know 1 person's here. Because COD is a game of numbers, now we know where the last 2 are. 6 should get across to help. We know where 1 is. And look at 6. Was getting across to help. Now we know where the last guy is. Now we just got to pick up what we need to. Same again. Like clockwork. The same game plans, the same step 1, the same step 2. The exact thing that they did in step 1 with Xnid bumping out, they're doing the exact same way with ALLUKA bumping out. Now, the difference between ALLUKA bumping out and Xnid bumping out is the weapon he has. You put 10,000 hours into the game, you will have a good idea of what positions you can put your gun in, and how successful you are going to be from a percentages standpoint of winning your first kill of the next wave. You can have first bullet advantage, you can have pre-aim advantage, but sometimes it's not enough, especially when you're playing with a shotgun NPC. He knows Cell is watching over him here. So he's playing an angle with his AR. So he's playing what we call a tight angle, or a creddy for you guys. And what he's doing is when you don't have the right weapon for the job and you're in an even or a disadvantageous position, by playing a tight angle, it allows you to use sort of, I guess, the element of surprise to try and get your kill. It also brings your teammates into the play. So by making him overextend, by Cell being the one to challenge or get information, if he's weak or one shot, ALLUKA can challenge off that, or he can let Gentamates push forward, run past him. Obviously, they're going to check it. They're a good team. They're going to check it. But it allows Cell to then do something off that. Right, let's see what he does here. So right here, he tried to chal off it. Ended up challing when he didn't need to, so he kind of overheated. But now, once he's got the comms, notice what Kiz has done. Kiz has killed the guy middle. He doesn't know if there's going to be any more people middle until ALLUKA has just called out there's 2 people towards the left. He has now shifted, because COD is a game of numbers, to try and force the trades. Now he has an SMG. Cell's doing his best to stay alive. ALLUKA's the last guy off spawn. And he's going to just look at them. Look at how they're aping. Look at how they're wolfpacking together. The way I would describe Falcons right now, ironically, is how I described how Paris played at the start of the game. When Paris were by far the best team in the game, this is how they played. But now it looks like Falcons are playing the way that Paris should be playing. Look at them just aping together once you get the information, because trading is not the same as team shooting. And I've been preaching this the entire year. And very few teams are good at team shooting wherever the pressure is coming from. The game is fast. Do not give your opponents the time to think and set stuff up. If you have numbers and you communicate, as long as you are playing to team shoot and steal each other's kills, you are going to win the wave. ALLUKA has come off spawn. We recognize where the pressure is coming from, and they're wolf packing wherever the Paris's pressure is going to be. And with 19 seconds left, they've ran forward to spawn them out behind, and then they can fight and bump out to get rotation for new. I've been preaching this all year. And I look at number 8 playing for kills, and look at these guys rotating to beat Paris on to new. Look at 7 and 6 holding hands, doing it together. So right here, they know they're in a disadvantageous position, and this is what I really like from Kiz and ALLUKA here, is they've decided to not push out to get any more space. They realize that they have to play creddy, they have to play their lives, they have to play for information, because they're always naturally going to be at a disadvantage. Why? Because you are always going to have one person on scrap, soak in the 5 seconds. Now right here, because you're always going to be in a 4v3, you have to play in positions where you're not forcing fights. You have to play positions where you're waiting for your teammates to activate. And so right here, what they're doing is they're waiting for these two to come back and come out into the play. They're buying as much time as they can from high percentage situations to get information to stall to bring them into the play. This is fantastic situational awareness from Falcons. Now look at it here. Buying as much time as we can. We're trying to buy as much time as we can. Kiz ends up dying. ALLUKA gets one. But because they've managed to buy as much time as they could, with ALLUKA then eventually backing away, they will end up killing Estrel here. Now they're in a 4v3, and now they are going to ape and fight together. So look at this right here. 7 is then going to fight. Now we're in a 3v1. All we have to do is steal each other's kills. Guys, when you are playing with a team, I need you to get this mindset of stealing each other's kills. Don't give each other kills. Steal it. Go. Everyone fight each other for this. Look at them. Guns together. Fight each other. Go, fight each other. I want it. My kill, right? That's how it works, and that's how you need to be in. Very, very good job from Kiz and ALLUKA in order to buy time because of the wave that they were playing. Wonderful stuff. And now because of that, Cell ends up, Xnid ends up bumping out as part of their game plan. Cell is the second guy in flow. You guys have seen this. Hopefully, you've seen this from the 04 Play Like a Pro Vegas FaZe edition, where every team just sets up the same way. It's just who executes and team shoots in the moment. Everybody has a game plan at this point. Everybody knows how to do the game plan. It's when you get into the fights, how do we do it together? At the end of a game on respawn, when all the game plans are the same, when everybody can do it the same, what it comes down to is, are we fighting and are we taking team shots together? That's it. Falcons are doing a really good job of doing that. Just stay with me for 60 seconds. I'm going to tell you something about your own aim that is going to change the way that you shoot forever. Your aim is bad. I'm not trying to insult you. It is the truth. It's not your settings. It's not your controllers. It's not your internet. It's not your dead zone. You've changed your sensitivity about 50 times in the past 5 years. It's never going to fix it because the problem is not in your hands. It's in your eyes. When you say you need to train your aim, what are you actually training? Because most players, for you guys that are watching, you've never really thought about it. You load in, bot lobby, you just shoot. Aiming is not one skill. It is 4 completely different skills. Flicking, tracking, micro correction, target switching. Each one uses a different part of your brain. Each one needs a specific drill. Each one needs to be trained properly. What you are doing is the equivalent of going to the gym and you're just lifting random things. My pro players, my CDL champions have trained the same way as athletes that train their sport. One skill, one drill, one sequence at a time. That's why their aim is consistent and yours isn't. They're not more talented than you. They're more structured than you. So I give you that structure. 4 skills in the right order, the right amount. This is the whole point of my aim and moving masterclass for you to download. Inside, you'll get an aiming and movement video, a neuroscience of aiming guide, 30-day training calendar, champions daily practice planner, optimal CDL settings cheat sheet, and a before and after self-assessment. You download it once, lifetime access. Do this 20 minutes a day for 30 days. I will guarantee your aim will improve. Not just your aim, but how you aim and how you look at aiming. Check out dreal.co.uk. and click this big gold button right here to get yourself on the course page, or check out the link in the description if you want it. Right, back to the video. And he's gonna are we gonna refill? Are we gonna rotate? Right, 8 is gonna refill to help time. 7's gonna rotate for new. 7 knows he probably can't get to new, and look at how he's playing. He's playing his life. He's playing to get kills because he realizes based on where he's spawning that they've got mid control. He knows obviously Kiz has just died mid, so he has a good idea. 12 seconds left. Predictions, not reactions. That number 4 is going to be pushing for new. He could go top, he could go bottom, he could go server room, he could go whatever, BS and D. And so right here, he's not trying to play for new. He's trying to play for his 1 to then bring number 8 into the play. And this is a play. This is where I need you guys to understand the difference between a pro player and the way that you guys look at the game. Because I promise you, if this was ranked, you guys would come off spawn and you guys are trying to ape from you. And this is what we call anticipation, and this is what we call prediction. When you look at the game from a macro chessboard perspective and you realize, okay, I'm on my own, I have no teammates to help me, you'll be a lot more cautious in the plays that you're making, and you'll take less risk until you get information saying otherwise. ALLUKA, he could have just spawned up, even though he knows someone could have done this, and he could have aped down like all you guys in ranked would have done. But what he's ended up doing, he's realizing, okay, playing for spawns for new, playing for progression for new, I'm the only person here is more important, and playing for information is more important for me and the rest of my team, so we can do something together. This is another form of doing your 25%, but most importantly, this is anticipation. This is realizing, okay, I'm potentially going to be fighting a couple on new. So compare COD to just a simple game of numbers. Keep it stupid simple. If I take a 1v2, what's the point? I'm dead. So I'm going to wait for my teammates. We'll get some kills. And then if we have the numbers, we're going to ape for new. So they get 2. Now we're like, okay, we know we're looking for 1. So now we can go for new. So we clear all the common spots, and he does a really good job getting 2. Or that's the discipline and pacing by reading the game and anticipating the game. Easy, I'm telling you, it's easy to do. Right, now they have a streak. So all they have to do when they have a streak is wait for the streak to come in, predict where the push is going to be coming from so they can chow together. He gets the comm cells calling out where everyone is going to be. Kiz gets 2. We know the last guy's on time. Good plays by Dante here to get that kill. Now, let's see what ALLUKA ends up doing. ALLUKA has the AR out now. So we have 1, and now we're just going to trade. Now it becomes a bang fest. Now it becomes like a huge trade fest, right? So right here, let's see. We have numbers. Are we going to ape? We used our stuns. We used our nades. We've set up the push. Now, are we going to bait and switch? I expect 6 to chal off 7 and 7 to chal off 6. These two are going to be aping together. This is a beautiful break. If they break this, is beautiful. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but XNID is the one who ends up getting 2. And I really, really want to show you kind of like the importance of this. I keep on preaching when it comes to breaking the hill, not only the routes that you end up taking are important to break, but it's the timing or the activation of a break that is equally as important. It's not just the routes, it's the time in which you fight. So the times in which you fight are what we call activation. Think of it like rugby, right? We have to be all on the same line or slightly just behind in rugby in order to make the fights work. Because if the fights aren't on the same line or in the same pace, then you can start to take, without recognizing it, isolated fights. So what happens is if number 8 runs it down and he dies, now we're in a 3 versus 3. And then number 7 runs it down and he dies, now we're in a 2v3. And against pro teams, you get punished for that. So understand when you're breaking. First of all, understand when you need to break. Second of all, understand what routes you need to take. And third, understand the time in which you activate. This is going to take small talk, especially when the minimap is terrible. This is where your game plans can come in. If you have a general sense of how you want to break hills, you can follow that. Sometimes you might be in situations like this where you can't follow a game plan, so this is where small talk becomes really important. So right here, we get the first kill. We need to talk to each other about, yo, I'm going to wait for me, let's hit it. And I know Kiz does this really well. So then they might wait for Kiz in order to activate. And now when we keep on watching, even though it's a 4 versus 3, because nobody's there to activate, ALLUKA doesn't move. Now, once these two are holding hands and they're fighting off each other, AR over SMG, this is what we call role synergy. SMG is probably going to be jumping across, trying to bait for your AR behind you. These two can start to fight together as well. So now look at it here. We've got these two taking, this is the point I'm trying to make, is look at 5 and look at 8. They are taking a 2v1 on Estriel. Nothing he could do. Call of Duty evolves into how do we isolate people in a setup. When you hive mind and when you do something together, you force natural teamwork. And when you're hive minding, you can take gunfights that are isolated once you start to understand where you need to go. So right here, they've taken a 2 versus 1 on Estriel, and now they can craft angles to take 2v1s, individual isolated fights on these two. And so now it brings in number 7 into the play by dragging Dante to look at him. Then Kiz can play off that, but then look at how Sib ends up dying. He ends up dying from Xnid. And now because we're in a 4v2, if X happens, we're going to do Y. We have numbers. We are going to ape. And if we're aping, what do we need to do is we need to steal each other's kills. And obviously, the more you play, the more you'll have an understanding of kind of like what fights you want to take, what movement you want to take. But then right here, you'll start to see them collapse on 3 and 1. There you go. Kiz gets one. Now we know where the last two are, so we just got to steal each other's kills. And as they're doing, they're just trying to steal each other's kills. And they're trying, and ALLUKA's coming back into play, and 8's coming back into play. And remember, guys, with this spawn system, is the further you push out past the 50-yard line of the hard point onto the opposing team's side, the deeper that they're going to spawn. The deeper that they spawn in, and you prevent their progression, the closer that you spawn, so you can trade and do it again. That's why speed is really important, but not when it's isolated. You have to be fast together. You got to ape together strong. And so right here, now we're just trying to take the same fight by spawning them deep. Obviously, there's 8 seconds left, so we want to push out to flip them behind. And look at how they're aping together to try and steal each other's kills. And look how we're doing it. 5 and 6, 5 and 8, 6 and 8. And this is Falcons' improvement the entire year. Right, so right here, we know they have scrap time. Look at 7 picking up the furthest route. He has an AR, so he's going to position himself to play for his 1. And again, understand with the weapon you have now. This is beautiful. Look at him. He's left him. He's left number 1, ran through, and decided to shoot number 4 in the side. This is confidence, by the way. This is confidence, the fact that he's done that. Now he's going to turn around and play for 1. Is he going to bring his teammates into the play? Oh my god, he's bringing his teammates into the play. Oh, and he just aped him. Really, really good plays by ALLUKA. Now we're just going to team shoot, because now we know where the pressure is coming from. 7 should get across to help. Yep, he is. And again, really, really confident plays from ALLUKA. The fact that he's decided to leave the guy dojo, shoot the guy in the side in P1, turn around, bring his teammates into the play, get him one shot, ape him down with the pistol, turn around, read the pressure, and shoot. What can I say? Very good. Now he's back here doing it again. And now we're just... this is like the 5th kill from the same place. Doing it again. Again, COD, when you find something that works, you double down on it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. When you find a child that works, or a spot that works, or the way to do something, you just double down on it, because COD is a game about doing the right things as much as you can. Look at him. Same fights over and over and over again. 15 seconds left. He's going to give up, play his life, and then he's going to come back, read the pressure, help his teammates with a pistol. There we go. He doesn't care if he dies. He's just helping his team wherever the pressure is coming from. That's really, really good plays. Now, if you guys saw, and if you guys saw my video on ALLUKA in December, this was one of the things I wasn't happy with how he was playing. Is it felt like he had a really selfish tendency, meaning he'll get 1 kill and run away rather than continuing to move forward to open up the game for the rest of his teammates. This right here is he's getting his kills, and he ain't afraid to die. He ain't afraid to go. This boy was gonna go back and run away, but he went to help his teammates even at the cost of dying. That is that's the growth I love to see. This is what I love to see. Right, he should spawn up. Let's see where he's gonna end up going. Spawns up towards the left. You know the pressure's towards the right. Refill where necessary. Play a good position to take fights. Look at him. Look at that. The fact that he's not afraid to die. Compared to what he was in December. The fact that he's not afraid to die and take fights to make the game easy for the guy behind. This is a testament to this guy's growth. Genuinely. Genuinely right here. Testament. Setting up. Fighting with Xnid. Fighting with Cell. Taking the same fights. Look at him. Is he going to fight? And they end up winning.